Welcome to Math with Mr. P. Today we're doing 6th grade math, chapter 6, lesson 4. We are talking about writing expressions today. Let's go ahead and start with the real world link. Alabama has 4 fewer airports than Missouri. Underline the key math word in the problem. So the key math word here is fewer. Fewer meaning less than. Circle the operation which you would determine how many airports are located in Alabama and explain. Fewer would mean we're subtracting. We could also talk about dividing, but it's saying 4 fewer, so we're going to take away 4 airports from Missouri, and that will equal Alabama. So a good way to write this down is Alabama has 4 airports fewer than Missouri. We don't know how many airports Missouri has, so we're going to go ahead and use variables. M would equal Missouri minus 4 would equal A, Alabama. Another way to say this is A equals M minus 4. Alabama equals the number of airports that Missouri has minus 4, because Alabama has 4 less airports than Missouri, is what it's saying. So whatever Missouri's airports have, that Alabama will have 4 less. So let's use this as an example. Alabama has 4 less airports than Missouri, or Missouri's airports minus 4. If we say Missouri has 7 airports, we will plug this in. Alabama will equal 7 airports minus 4. Alabama will have 3 airports, because 7 minus 4 is 3. So this is how we use variables, especially if we don't know what the values are now, being told Alabama has 4 fewer airports than Missouri, and we don't know how many Missouri has. That's why we write an expression. Our second example would be California has 3 times as many airports as Georgia. The key math word here is times, which we all know is multiplication. So to write an algebraic expression, California has 3 times as many airports as Georgia. So California will equal whatever Georgia has times 3. Or another way to write this is C equals 3 times G, or 3G. You can also write this, G times 3, but usually we'd like to write it like this. So California will equal 3 times whatever Georgia has, 3G. Now, if we find out that Georgia has 3 airports, we would plug that in here. This would be 3 times 3. Therefore, California would have 9 airports. And that's why we write algebraic expressions. Number 3, Missouri has 2 times as many airports as Ohio. How many airports does Ohio have? Again, keyword there is times. We're using multiplication. Missouri has 2 times as many airports as Ohio. How many airports does Ohio have? Now, they're setting up numbers here. Let's say that Ohio has 8 airports. Times 2, because Missouri has double or 2 times as many airports as Ohio has. 8 times 2 would be 16. Therefore, Missouri has 16 airports. Write phrases as algebraic expressions. To write verbal phrases as algebraic expressions, follow the steps below. The second step, defining the variable, choose a variable and decide what it represents. So remember, when we're going to be dealing with word problems here, I just use the letters as variables in the last examples based on the states they were. You can do whatever you want as a variable as long as it's not a number. So let's go ahead and look at this example. Describe the situation, use only the most important words, choose a variable to represent the unknown quantity, and translate your verbal phrase into an algebraic expression. So let's break this down. Describe the situation, use only the most important words. So you're going to read the question and you're going to pull out all the important words. Again, values, operations, things like that. Choose a variable to represent the unknown quantity. So if we're talking about airports, whatever, you can use whatever you want. Think of a letter that represents what we are talking about. And translate your verbal phrase into an algebraic expression. So, examples. $8 more than Ryan earned. Words. $8 more than Ryan earned. So it's all of this. So let's look at the key phrase here is more. More means we are going to do addition. $8 more than Ryan earned. Let D represent the number of dollars Ryan earned. So it doesn't matter if you picked D, you picked R for Ryan, you picked M for money. It really doesn't matter. But in this example, they wanted to use D. So Ryan is going to earn D. That's how much money he earns. So we don't know how much money he earns. But the other person is going to earn $8 more than Ryan. Therefore, it's going to be D plus 8. D representing the number that Ryan has earned. And D plus 8, because again, $8 more than Ryan earned would be how much the other person earned. D plus 8. Let's try one ourselves, and we're going to ignore this. $10 less than the original price. Okay? $10 less. The key word here is less. So we are going to be using subtraction. It's going to be $10 less than the original price. The thing we don't know is the original price. So you can use O for original, you can use P for price, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead and use O for original price. The original price minus $10 because it's $10 less than the original price. And this would be our algebraic expression. Let's see what the book used. The book represented P for price, which is fine. $10 less than the original price. They still highlighted less as being the big thing. So it is the original price, which is P, minus 10, because it's $10 less. So P minus 10. On our side, we used O minus 10. The variable you choose does not matter. So I want you guys to get that in your head. Just because somebody put P or O or X or Y or what have you, that is not relevant, and it is not as important as having the rest of the expression right. So it is minus $10 here. This could be P, O, X, whatever. As long as it's not a regular number, you need to use a variable, so some sort of letter to represent what we don't know yet. Once we know what the original price is, we're going to plug it in. So if we say the original price was $25, that's where I go ahead and erase this and I plug in 25. So the new price of it, since it was $25 originally, it would be $15 now because it's $10 off the original price. But for this sake, we don't know what the original price is. So we're going to leave it as a variable, whether it be O, P, X, whatever. And the cats are fighting. 4 times the number of gallons. Again, the key word here is times, so we're going to be using multiplication. The thing we don't understand or we don't know is the number of gallons. We're going to want to represent gallons with something, so we can say G. So we're going to let G represent gallons. The number of gallons, which we don't know, so it'll be 4 times the number of gallons, so it'll be 4 times G. Or another way of putting this is just 4G. So my expression is 4G, which is 4 times G. And again, you could write it as the following. You can do 4 parentheses G. You can do 4 dot G. Or you can do 4 times G, which is 4G. Either one of these is a valid expression. And again, you don't have to use G as for gallons. We just use G for gallons because gallon starts with G. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the got it here, and we're going to see what we can do. 4 points fewer than the Bulls scored. My key word here is fewer, which means we are going to be using subtraction. And the thing that we don't know is how much the Bulls scored. So we can use B for Bulls. We can use S for scored. We can use P for points. It doesn't matter. 4 points fewer than the Bulls scored. So I'm going to say B minus 4. Whatever the Bulls scored, minus 4, because they scored 4 points fewer than the Bulls. Second one, 4 times the number of feet. Times, meaning we are going to be using multiplication. The unknown that we don't know is the number of feet. 12 times the number of feet, we can use F to represent feet. And 12 times it would just become 12F, or 12 parentheses F, or 12 with a dot F. Either one of these would be fine. You didn't have to use F for feet. You could have used M for measurement. You could have just used X if you feel more comfortable using X as a variable. It's up to you. And C, the total cost of a shirt and an $8 pair of socks. Our key term here is total. Total means we are going to be adding. So the total cost of a shirt, and the shirt is what we don't know, total cost of a shirt, and an $8 pair of socks. So you can put S for shirt plus $8 for socks. You could put T for t-shirt. It doesn't matter. We're going to use S for shirt. So it's going to be S plus $8, and that is our expression. Whatever the amount the shirt costs plus the $8 for the socks. Write two-step expressions. Two-step expressions contain 2 different operations. So let's look at this sentence. Write the phrase 5 less than 3 times the number of points as an algebraic expression. Let's all take a deep breath here, and we'll dive into this one very carefully. Less and times are our key math terms. So it's 5 less than 3 times the number of points. 5 less than 3 times the number of points. So 5 less, I'm going to be subtracting 5 eventually, 3 times the number of points. P would be points in this case for our variable because we don't know what our points are. So the number of points, 5 less than 3 times the number of points. Each one of these is the number of points. We're going to do 3 times it because there's 3 of them. And then we are going to subtract 5 points from that total. Therefore, the expression is 3 times P minus 5. 3 times the number of points minus 5, or 5 less than 3 times the number of points. So 3 times P minus 5. And remember, I have to put minus 5 at the end because that's where we subtract. If I put negative 5, 3P, that makes 0 sense. So don't always have to follow the rule or the way that the sentence is. Just read the sentence carefully and it will help explain. So 5 less than 3 times the number of points. That's 3 times P minus 5. Write the phrase $3 more than 4 times the cost of a pretzel as an algebraic expression. So more and times. We're going to have addition and multiplication. $3 more than 4 times the cost of a pretzel. So we're going to use P for pretzel. We don't know how much a pretzel costs, but we know we're multiplying it by 4 here. It's $3 more than 4 times the cost of a pretzel. So I'm going to add $3 to it. So it's whatever 4 times the cost of a pretzel plus $3. And that is my algebraic expression. Again, you don't have to use P if you don't want. You could have used X. You could have used F for food. You could have used any letter you want. But in this case, we're going to use P for pretzel. So 4 times the total price of a pretzel plus $3. All right, and this will be our last example for this lesson, and we're making decent time. Terry bought a magazine for $5 and 2 bottles of nail polish. Write an expression to represent the total amount she spent to then find the total amount if each bottle of nail polish cost $3. So the nail polish costs an unknown amount at first. We don't know this yet. So we're going to use D to represent the cost of nail polish, or dollars. She bought 2 bottles of nail polish plus a magazine. The magazine we know is $5. So magazine and then 2 sets of nail polish. D for dollars. Therefore, it'll be 2 times D plus 5. Another way to write that is 2D plus 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write it over here. 2D plus 5. Then we find out afterward, because it asks us to write an expression first and then find the total amount if each bottle costs $3. So D will now equal $3. And I'm going to plug that in. That's a terrible dollar sign. OCD is not going to let me do that. There we go. Better. So I'm going to plug this in. This is going to become 2 times $3 plus 5. Multiplication and division happen first from left to right, so that'll be $6 plus 5. And this is actually dollars as well because there was $5 for the magazine. That will give me a grand total of $11. This girl spent $11 on 2 things of nail polish and a magazine. And that's our answer there. As always, if you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to message me. I'm Mr. P, and I will catch you guys on the next one.